Tax Reform Bill. National Labour Congress holds dialogue on federal government's proposed tax reform bill. Urges Nigerians to read and understand benefits. Federal government arraigns 105 suspects, including foreign nationals, for alleged cybercrime activities. Federal government moves to enhance gender equality and climate resilience in 2025. Hello and welcome to the News Desk at 11 on NTA News 24. I'm 10THJANUARY. Nigerians have been urged to read and understand the benefits inherent in the tax reform bill introduced by the federal government before the National Assembly. Professor of Accounting and Financial Development Godwin Oyedekun gave the advice during the NLC dialogue on the new tax reform bill. Lukman Hassan reports.
Professor Godwin Oyedekun explained that tax is necessary to see that government bring development to the country, adding that paying tax is compulsory for all citizens to fast-track development. The accounting financial development expert encouraged Nigerians to study the tax reform bills for better understanding and acquaint themselves with the benefits of the bill.
What is currently being used is not the same thing as what is being proposed. What is being proposed is better than what is currently being used. However, it can be better than that because I'm also collecting salary and I pay tax, and I like to pay lesser than what I'm paying legitimately.
President Nigerian Labour Congress Joe Ajeru urged the government to dialogue with its members for their input,
especially as it affects avoiding double taxation and indirect taxation. So we are better informed, more informed, and more agitated.
If transportation is eased and the issue of some other things, we wouldn't feel the burden on subsidy removal so much.
Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, represented by the Deputy Governor Bayo Lawal, inaugurated 10 CNG buses for the use of workers in the southwest, with a call on the state government to collaborate with NLC to have more of such buses in Ibadan. Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
Thank you, Lukman. Women are mostly affected and usually bear the burden in issues of climate change. It is in view of this that the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs is partnering the National Council for Climate Change to ease the burden on women in 2025. Momso Damian Deti reports.
The Minister of Women Affairs, flanked by her directors, receiving the Director General National Council for Climate Change.
One of our focus actually is adaptation because we are hugely impacted by the impact of climate change, and women are one of the vulnerable groups. And you cannot talk about addressing climate change in the country without understanding the role of women as women who are affected and also women who are solution providers.
It's not just about addressing, doing the mitigation and addressing the consequences, also dealing with it from the root causes, sustainability. So women have a huge role to play. And I look forward to working with you to ensure that we kind of achieve that. Speaking about the Nigerian Greta, that is very important because for me it signifies catching them young. The climate change issues is when it comes to conserving energy, when it comes to the transition, what role do young people play? As you may be aware, there were not just the Ministry of Women, there were the Ministry for Children.
The reason for the visit is simple, yet critical to the welfare of women across Nigeria. The minister is convinced that such collaborations will go a long way in addressing the multiple challenges confronting women around climate changes. Momso Damian Deti, NTA News.
Still on environmental matters, the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas, has defended the ministry's 2025 budget before the National Assembly, affirming that mitigating the effects of climate change, protecting the ecosystem for sustainable growth and development are focus points. National Assembly correspondent Isa Muhammad reports.
The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal, says, as an annual obligation to guide government spendings, the 2025 budget will focus on implementation of result-oriented programs, monitoring and evaluation in line with the renewed hope agenda of the present administration.
Secure a quality environment for good health and well-being, promote sustainable use of natural resources, foster research on environmental issues, and develop harmony within the nation and the environment, protect and enhance natural resources, restore ecosystem, and conserve biodiversity, raise public environmental awareness, collaborate with MDS, NGOs, and international organizations on environmental issues.
These states are affected by desertification, which covers about 77 local governments in the affected area. And the funding we received over the past years has been insufficient to cover for limited shelter belts, woodlots, and orchards, so as to help mitigate climate change and desertification.
The chairman of the House Committee on Environment, Julius Pondi, says, despite good efforts in previous budgets, low releases of funds have affected opportunities to address environmental challenges facing the country.
As a committee, we are disposed to increase budgetary allocations for this critical sector, in as much as we see key projects that are envisioned that will strengthen climate resilience, combat pollution, enhance community awareness, and ensure accountability in the year 2025 budget proposal of the ministry and its agencies.
The committee has selected Thursday next week for the continuation of the budget defense to enable the ministry to correct some errors observed. From the National Assembly, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
Meanwhile, 105 suspects, including some foreign nationals, have been arrested by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for alleged cybercrime activities in Gudu, Abuja. This comes barely a month after the commission arrested 792 other suspected fraudsters in Victoria Island, Lagos. The strategy being adopted, as revealed by the Commission, is the training of partners using a template on internet-related fraud known as Hotel Review Job Scam, which is new in the Nigerian space.
This fraud is targeted at victims, especially in Europe and different parts of the world. And what we saw yesterday focused mostly on victims from the UK. They put out an advert after they've gotten phone numbers of victims randomly from the United Kingdom, and they give a set of instructions to their Nigerian employees on how to lure them into making reviews, 5-star reviews for hotels around the UK. This is only the first in various steps that will build trust between the victims and the scammers, after which they will go in for the hard kill, where they will ask the victims to invest heavily into this fraud, and they will be ripped up of their money.
That operation, like I said, was based essentially on intelligence. And after weeks of surveillance,
giving out names for now is going to be very difficult, but like I said, there are victims, and we are working towards seeing who are the victims and from which country are they from. And from there, I mean, with time, you get to understand who are the main victims in this kind of cases.
Suspects are expected to be arraigned before a court of jurisdiction once investigations are completed. The Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, Ohaneze Ndigbo Worldwide, has inaugurated a new executive council to officiate activities of the group, as well as enhance growth and unity in the Southeast region. Chika Ugu reports that Senator John Azutambata from Rivers State emerged president of the group after a peaceful election.
The election attracted notable personalities from Igbo land, including Southeast governors and top government officials, with one goal of electing eligible ESCO to pilot the affairs of the group and advocate a prosperous region. The Executive Council is expected to comprise men and women with sound education, great wisdom, integrity, vision, and knowledge of the Igbo cultural ethical values. It is against this backdrop that the ESCO was elected. In his speech, Governor Peter Mba described unity as a formidable force that fuels peace and progress. Hence, the need for the Igbos to speak with one voice, irrespective of party affiliation.
It is in our collective interest to work together. That goal is not a mere wish, but we must do that through our actions.
The socio-cultural group is in dire need of functional and efficient leadership to surmount its challenges, and as such, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma urged the incoming executive to consolidate on the gains and peace achieved by their predecessors.
On behalf of the governors, I want to thank the outgoing executives for their job well done, while urging the incoming to also follow their footsteps and improve on what the outgoing has done.
Both outgoing and incoming presidents promised to collaborate to promote peace, security, and prosperity in the Southeast region.
I want to say that we will not be disappointed because we have assembled a crack team, a team that is full of democrats.
The people are hopeful that with the new executive, the Igbo culture will be upheld and the dream of the founding fathers to achieve progress realized. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu congratulates Senator John Azutambata on his election as President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo worldwide. President Tinubu also congratulates the group on the successful leadership transition and enjoins the new leaders to uphold the principles of their predecessors. A statement by Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, explains that the President recognizes the critical role of socio-cultural organizations in nation building and encourages promoting dialogue among ethnic nationalities. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has announced that the Nigeria Police Force will begin a nationwide enforcement of vehicle insurance compliance starting February 1st. IGP Egbetokun, at a meeting with National Insurance Commission, urged motorists to ensure their vehicles are properly registered and insured to avoid penalties.
It is the visit of the National Insurance Commission to the Louis Edet House and the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, at the meeting raised concern over the alarming number of uninsured vehicles on Nigeria's roads. He revealed that only 30% of vehicles plying the nation's roads have genuine vehicle insurance coverage.
I want to take this opportunity to remind Nigerians that the violation of this section of the law is an offense that is punishable by law with imprisonment or with fine. So I want to encourage all Nigerians to take this seriously, to ensure that they go and get at least third-party insurance cover for their vehicles before they put those vehicles on the road.
We all realize that it's a requirement of the law that nobody should use or cause to use any vehicle on our roads without a valid third-party insurance.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force has taken decisive action to curb the spread of fake news and disinformation capable of widening the trust gap between the police and members of the public. Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi, at a briefing in Abuja, disclosed that operatives of the force have apprehended a 38-year-old suspect in Edo State for allegedly creating and operating multiple social media accounts to disseminate false content aimed at inciting the public against the force.
We can use social media possibly to help the government in creating jobs, to help the government in creating awareness, to help the government in all areas, but not to destroy our nation, not to set Nigeria on fire.
The NPF reassures the public of its unwavering commitment to upholding law and order. Francis from NTA News.
This is the news at 11 on NTA News 24. We'll be back with more reports after these messages. To bridge the gap between operational and strategic leadership, participants of the Leadership and Strategic Studies Course 3 2024 have visited the National Youth Service Corps headquarters in Abuja. The visit, which aims to deepen their understanding of government programs and initiatives, showcases the critical role of the NYSC in fostering national development. Olainka Ujo reports.
The Leadership and Strategic Studies course, a collaborative effort between the Nigerian Army Resource Center and the Nigerian Defense Academy, equips senior officers with the tools to align leadership, strategy, and national security. Spanning 11 months, the program brings together 35 participants with a shared goal of enhancing national cohesion and security. This year's course, themed Deeper Appreciation of the Relationship Between Leadership, Strategy and National Security, included a stop at the NYSC headquarters.
Have the first-hand knowledge of the role, operations of National Youth Service Corps and the achievements of the National Youth Service Corps and future development of the National Youth Service Corps.
At the heart of the visit was a detailed presentation by the Director for Planning, Research and Statistics of the NYSC. The lecture highlights the scheme's contributions to national integration, community development and skills acquisition, underscoring its transformative impact on Nigerian youths.
We can expand our economy and resolve all these issues of unemployment.
The session also sparked engaging discussions with participants, raising pertinent questions about the safety and security of youth corps members, their deployment process, and the infrastructural states of orientation camps.
It's not the responsibility of the federal government or the NYSC to establish or renovate camp. To put the camp in order, the beddings, everything in that state is supposed to be done by the state government. Federal government have the responsibility to provide the kittings, the feeding at the camp, and equal to pay the allowances.
Because this tour to National Youth Service Corps has broadened our minds.
The tour is in tandem with the vision of the President because through the tour we were able to find out what the NYSC is doing in terms of skills development.
The tour of the headquarters added practical dimension to the visit as participants explored NYSC cutting-edge innovation, including the Digital Museum, and its thriving radio and television stations. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
Still on education, in a boost to the National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Children, Managing Director of the Nigeria Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, Dr. Akintunde Sawyer, has pledged maximum cooperation and support for the Commission's plans to train millions of vulnerable youths in skills acquisition. Dr. Sawyer made this commitment when the Executive Secretary of the National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Children's Education, Dr. Muhammad Sani Idris, visited him in Abuja. He said NEL Fund is committed to alleviating the plight of the vulnerable in the country.
Affect them. It's a big task. It requires a lot of collaboration and coordination. Yes. But it also requires people to lead by example, because sometimes people will not collaborate and cooperate with you unless they see that you've made the first move.
So if we can cooperate and give training, skills training to 1 million Almajiri, believe you me, before the end of this year or before the end of next year, 50% of those Almajiri, those 50 million out-of-school children and Almajiri, will cease to be out-of-school children.
The partnership between the Nigeria Education Loan Fund and the National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Children's Education is expected to enhance the Commission's efforts at providing vocational training and skills acquisition programs for Almajiri and out-of-school children. The new Vice-Chancellor of the University of Abuja, Professor Aisha Sani Mekudi, has assured the university community of running an inclusive administration in which everyone will be included and with an open-door policy. This was during her maiden academic session with heads of departments and deans who are among the institution's Senate members. Professor Mekudi, who is not oblivious of the task and challenges ahead, believes that cooperation and contribution from everyone is required to realize the objectives of the founders of the university.
You all gave me the support I needed. It helped me succeed. Very impactful period. Everything I've achieved, I couldn't have done it alone. Getting on this seat again, I want us to continue to work together to make this place a beacon of success and innovation.
As Senate members of University of Abuja, the process that led to your emergence as Vice Chancellor of University, void of no violation of any extant law.
The beginning of wisdom is to reconcile. Look, 5 is a number. Please try as much as possible to bring them in. So, because you need them, we need them, the University of Abuja needs them. You don't have the chance and the luxury of sleeping.
Please, ma, I want you to be strong because the job is tough. You are dealing with professors. So the job is not easy and it's not going to be easy. You need to be tough.
The 42-year-old international law scholar, Professor Aisha Mekudi, emerged top to clinch the position among 9 of her colleagues who contested for the Vice-Chancellor position. This is the news at 11 on NTA News 24. Here is a quick look at our major stories. Tax Reform Bill. National Labour Congress holds dialogue on federal government's proposed tax reform bill, urges Nigerians to read and understand benefits. 105 suspects, including foreign nationals, arrested for alleged cybercrime activities. Federal government moves to enhance gender equality and climate resilience in 2025.
This is NTA News 24.
President Bola Tinubu commiserates with former Speaker of the House of Representatives Oladimeji Bankole and his family on the passing of his mother, the Iya Adini of Egbalan, Alaja Monsurat Atinuke Bankole, aged 78. She died on Thursday after a brief illness. A statement by Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, indicates Alaja Monsurat Atinuke Bankole dedicated her life to community development, guided by her convictions in the Islamic faith. The President hopes that Mama's legacy will continue in the countless lives she touched through her compassion, generosity, and humility, and he prays for the peaceful repose of her soul and for Almighty Allah to comfort all who mourn her demise. Meanwhile, the death has been announced of Alaja Munirat Adejoke Fakpejua Konke Olaiwola Ne Udupola of Oshogbo, Osun State. Aged 108 years, Alaja Munirat Adejoke was a hard-working and enterprising woman who moved to Ghana in 1937, where she met and married her husband, late Pa Badamosi Adio Olaiwola. She returned to Nigeria in 1970. She survived by 6 children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Among her children, Faye Sarah Olaiwola of the ECOWAS Commission, Abuja. The 40 days Fidel prayer comes up on Saturday, January 11, 2025. Final funeral details will be announced. And that concludes the news at 11 on NTA News 24. Thanks for being a part of it. I'm Naja 10THJANUARY.